Right, Shan, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about, Shan? You're a man of many topics.
Well, one of the topics I'd love to know is, right, so just say one of your pals has just bought like a E36 323, for example.
He's not your pal anymore.
This is what to me, so you need to be careful.
Topic over.
Pals has bought a real car, absolutely anything, right? So a 323, an MX-5, fucking anything, rear-wheel drive. And they're like, all right, mate, fucking, I want to go up to this fucking drift line and get in your door, you cunt. So pretty much they're just like, the car's pretty much standard, but it's been serviced and it goes and all that shit. So what would be your, not top 5, but what are the first 5 things you would say to that gadget to buy or steal for his car?
Insurance.
An MOT.
So it's insured, it's ready to go, it's sitting there in his driveway, he's asking you, all right, mate, you've got a unit, can I come up and fucking use it? Every fucking 5 minutes.
Well,
and he wants to know what are the first 5 things I should do to this car to make it work. And
the first 2 should be a jerry can and a box of matches. 100%.
Nah, so you'd weld the diff.
Okay, that was my number 1, was diff.
Welder, seat, a wee bit of lock to make it fun, more accelerator,
set of max pedo rods.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with him.
So pretty much a welded diff, coilovers, a seat. But I was thinking a seat and steering wheel because that's kind of like, you know, fucking didn't want to make it seat steering wheel. So seat and a deep dish. When I was drifting, I was breaking my fucking fingers on the fucking stalks and getting my fingernails caught in the fucking airbag and fucking everything. So thinking,
come on, mate, look at them ones. Let me see them, Hanks.
Let
me see them ones.
To be fair, my wee MX-5 when it had the standard wheel in it, it kept hitting my knees and all that. It's just too big, it's horrible.
Aye, MX-5s are massive, the wheels.
Aye, the steering wheels are ridiculous on the things.
Aye, so a steering wheel and a seat because I felt like when you first start driving, drifting even, when the car starts sliding, because your body's fucking moving, you think that the whole car's moving like with it, and it's quite hard to kind of judge. So I think if you've got a bucket seat or a recliner, not so much a harness, but just a bucket seat or recliner, decent seat, keeping you in place along with a decent steering wheel, I just feel like, that's probably one of the mods I would say is that. So
harness does make some difference though. I was surprised at how much difference that harness makes, to be fair.
As soon as you sit in a bucket seat and put a harness on, you feel invincible.
And then the hits.
The Nürburgring.
Then you remember your seat's only bolted in with 2 at the bottom anyway, and it doesn't really matter.
Your seat bracket's 2 L brackets at home base.
Jesus, take the wheel.
My mate went to Nürburgring. He went a lap with a helmet on, and then did another lap with a helmet on, and then third one said, fuck it. Let Jesus decide. And he went out without a helmet, and he said it was the best lap he did because he didn't feel like he was going as hard, like he was just driving around the Nürburgring, and he said it felt better. And if you wear a helmet on, you feel like you're gonna, like fuck, I'm on a racetrack here. But if you just, so that was the things I was thinking was that. But the other 2 things I was thinking was probably an exhaust, not for power reasons, but fucking an exhaust so you can hear what the fucking car's doing. Because if you
need to hear more BMWs out here in these drifty streets.
That's it. But, you'll get caught if you're doing the street and stuff, but I'm thinking on track. Because if you're out in Driftland and you've got another, 5, 6 M52s are screaming next to you, you can't hear what the fuck your car's doing. So just chop the black box off.
I mean, there was an IS at STL one year, and it had nothing, and it was the weirdest thing watching it go round. It was just
I mind it actually, I remember that. Just tire noise.
That was when the bumper came off and I just fucking smashed it.
Hadoukened it.
STL was good, but fucking I could only afford to do the one day kind of thing, really. It was quite expensive for what it was. It's good, I'm glad I did it, but fuck it was quite expensive. But
was that goes on to what? Who was it who was saying that? Keeve, about what makes an event good.
Aye. What makes an event good is minimal arseholes, really, though, innit? So if you
Yeah.
pay through,
Yeah.
Just seat time as well. A lot of seat time.
What makes a
Which-
difference between? There's a difference between an event and then what's basically 2 private days, because sometimes that's what it just feels like.
I enjoyed STL, like even going up on the Thursday and watching. I thought it was shit hot, I must say. Like, but
No, it's just getting to drive with guys with similar cars and be all over the country. It's like, but
best
so
in like
even just having like, I know we've spoken about this, but having like some sort of show cars up the side of the track, so like crowd and a bit more of an atmosphere.
Yeah.
That would make it a bit more of an event.
just kind of
like
weird.
more relatable to what's going on.
Aye. But maybe we'll get an event this year.
Winter's
Aye.
practice day.
Aye, in the Lexus.
Yeah.
mental, all this shit like going on and stuff, and all the events. That was S Fest, S Chassis Fest.
Right.
Martin's event that's been cancelled today, which isn't his fault. It's just obviously one of these fucking things with the current shit.
No, let's not get too much into that though, Sean. You try to stir up this.
I'm not stir up anything. I'm just saying I feel bad for him, but at the same time though, he knows that it's not his fault. So
everybody knows it's not his fault.
It's a shit situation, man. Because like,
I was looking forward to that.
it's hard to give folk the money back when potentially Driftland's not get much money to give because they've not got any business coming in. So it's a shit show.
It's a lot of stress because he's going to have like the likes of us. Like we're not too bothered. We'll be used to, well, not be used to, but like we're all right with just kind of waiting and hanging fire. But the likes of all the guys for down south, they're going to be like, right, what the fuck's going on? Because they need to plan it a lot more than what we would do.
Right. Like an hour away, max.
It's just down the road for us, isn't it?
Aye.
Video just kicked in. Hang on, there we go. Just take it off. When was the last time one of them?
No. Anti-theft.
Aye.
A CD won't fit in that, will it?
Mini disc, I think. Nah, cassette, but.
Is that one of those cassettes?
What do you mean cassette?
You didn't care you're born. You had to hit these two buttons together. Fucking. Oh no, you didn't hit that online. You hit that button, it would have checked. But my GVC 40 watts times 4, that's fucking power there, baby.
Oh, bad boy.
Beast. Aye. But no, like I was up dropping my radiator off up at Lee Smart a week and a half ago. Met him at the gate. And it's just got to be pinhole connecting, so he's sorting me out getting it repaired, minted. And Lulu, was showing up just as I was there, and she was like, "You're one of the first drifters that's no asked me when's Driftland opening again." And it's like, well, how the fuck would she know? She's not going to care when.
Why are they asking?
Aye, so I thought it was quite weird that there's like loads of folk asking her, "Oh, when's Driftland open again?" Fuck, mate, government doesn't care when the fuck it's going to open again. What chance do you have?
So
Definitely bear in mind that huge majority of drifters are fucking morons, mate.
Oh, very much.
I'll take that, Gary. Not a problem, mate.
If it coming to a moron, so you know it's what it is.
Aye, moron.
So,
We're all stuck together.
You any plans of doing another event, Sean?
I would absolutely fucking love to do another one.
We should do one. Garage Panic and GarageFuckHouse. There we go. Double garage.
We're changing our name, by the way. No longer Drapes.
Oh, aye, rip that sticker off your wall, Chris.
No, you take all that DRX behind his nut. It's fine.
Is drop not a thing anymore?
Nah, the problem is, see, us like we started that when we were all on air, right?
Fancy boys.
So
Fancy kid.
it's hard to do into it because realistically, like, I don't know about. Well, really, it's only really me and Cammy that came over for that. everybody else was fresh to it with their S-bodies and MX-5s and such. So I think it's time for a change.
Aye.
So that's
it suits the style of driving better, I think.
just panicking, just general, don't know what we're doing.
Just me not knowing what the fuck's going on in my car, like it's got us down to a T.
I know that feeling, like, aye. No, fair play, man. Aye. I would love to do another event. Last year at Galsby was brilliant, but again, I didn't get much input into it this year. As for the last couple of years and stuff like that, I've been the one that's been dealing with like the money coming in, the drivers kind of thing, like who's driving, sorting sun strips and all that kind of stuff. That's been me, and Fraser's been a big help as well. And then on the day, he's the one that like he does like the clipping points and the judging and stuff, and he does a great job. And I can't do it very much. But last year, Galsby, 2019, I had very little input into it, and it was actually the most stressed I've been before an event because it's so fucking far away. It's not like Driftland where you're just 20 minutes up the road and you can always drop off stuff. Because it was fucking Galsby, 150 mile away, and you didn't ken what the fucking weather was going to be like. You didn't ken anything, so it was quite a worry. But then once we got up there and we set it up, it was fucking brilliant. It was actually the smoothest it's ever ran. It was fucking amazing. So we did really good. But I think if we did it again, I think I would like to do it at Driftland again and across 2 days again, like 2017, because that was just fucking amazing. That was such a good laugh.
Why would you not run Galsby again?
There were Japanese was brilliant.
I drove up to Galsby and my car was like minted, and I drove home and it was fucked.
I think that was all of it.
It was about midnight and all, maybe like 11 o'clock, and you guys all just came rolling on in. It was fucking brilliant because I didn't even know I only knew who was driving if I'd seen you on Facebook a couple of days before, which I mean the night before I was organising fucking loads of shit. Sure, my car was filled to the brim with everything, so I didn't really know who exactly was all driving. So when I seen you guys all rolling in about midnight with all planned Japanese cars, I was just like, fucking yes. And it's like, this is quality. The cars looked amazing. It was just good. It was a really good laugh, and me and Scotty really enjoyed it. Like, we really enjoyed it. It was good.
The track was awesome, man.
The track was fantastic.
That's James Stevens. Big thanks to James Stevens and his wife. They pretty much sorted out everything for that. And thanks to the guys from RDC, Retro Drift Championship. They helped out big time. Couldn't have done it with them. So
I didn't actually realise till the day when I seen them all the t-shirt done.
It was brilliant. We had a good laugh, I must say. Yeah.
We've been talking about wanting to do an event, but I don't think we've quite got the following or the ability to do an event on like that.
See, the problem would be like we would go to organise it and then we'd be like, nah, fuck it, let's just go and drive, and then it would just go to shit, and that would be done.
That's why we just do
we would need to get somebody that does drive to like do all the organising and all that, so we could just all go have fun.
Just be like a open pit event, or would it be like an actual drift, like a drift competition?
Don't know. I'd like to do an event because obviously we'd like to do like trade stalls and show cars at the side of the track, so you get everybody around the track. So when you're heading, you've got hundreds of folk at the side, and there's an atmosphere. But I just don't know if we're there yet, to be honest.
Do it. That's it, man. We took a gamble 2015, fucking hell. The very first one, took a fucking gamble, and it was the first competition up at Driftland, and it went down really well. I mean, ask Gary, he did like Final Boss and stuff like that before in the past, and I mean, they've always been fucking shit hot events. I've always really enjoyed them. That, something
depends
similar.
on who you ask, my man.
Landscape. Go on landscape here.
Mate, I'm trying to charge the phone, mate. It's fucked. I'm going to turn the wheel. Hold up, lads. Hold the bus.
Right. So Gary's the man about running like an event like that. Was brilliant.
Oh my goodness. Jesus.
Yeah, I've been trying to find other tracks, and I've been on Lark Hall. I don't know if you've seen that track. I think I sent you. But I've been on Lark Hall's case, but there's
All right.
I think the biggest problem with Lark Hall is the tartan tarmac people like to give them a fairly decent amount of money to park M2s on the grass.
Aye, and the grass doesn't get damaged, and general mess doesn't happen.
That's the go-karting track, isn't it?
Yeah, but it recently became like a public track. It used to just be private, so I know that they'd maybe be looking for ways for more money, but I don't know if ruining their grass is up their street.
Yeah, that was a big thing with us as well. Like we had to put, sadly, the cones, or we ruined every corner, and some of the bits where folk would manage, we had cones down to try and stop folk from doing that, and it was just kind of made it a bit pish. But at the same time, it's just because the groundskeeper guy up at Galway was just I hate
hilarious. Every 2 minutes, every grass.
Stop bloody wee divots back in.
He was alright, but I was just absolutely hating us for ripping up his grass, and he knew that every single bit of grass that got flung up in the air, he's like, fuck's sake, I'm the one that's going to have to fix all this. But he was alright, and I think he got fucking good bit of cash. In fact, the last time, which was that was Galway the year before, or 2 years before, which nothing to me, I was actually driving at it. It was good, was a local landscaping company donated grass. So it cost them fuck all. They just had to go around and put it back down again. So I don't know why it's such a big hassle, but the damage that year there, just last year there, was very minimal. It was really good. But I did feel...
Really?
Fucking
hell, man. I ended up like in the middle of the grass and had to get towed off because I couldn't move.
I think every single lap back when I hit the grass.
Well, compared to the event before, it was night and day. The one that SDC had up there the year before, nothing like it. Like it was, the damage that year was crazy. You had Jay Carr, who did 13 duck drops on a track that only had 7 corners. Aye, absolute fucking madman. But and that's why he got banned from every fucking event going. But obviously now that under new management, it's all changed now, which is brilliant. So it's good to see him, and good to see all the Jedburgh guys back. Aye, hell driver. So we're good to see him back at this. Well, I'm going to say this year, but it'll probably be next year now. Just
See, I'd quite like to see SDC do trail, to be honest. I think it'd be quite interesting.
I'm so ready for Trail Big Track. I'm so ready again, man.
Yep. Yeah.
It is basically just one corner, but
it's 90 miles an hour, though. I mean,
aye.
5 different surfaces.
Let's fucking go.
5 different surfaces on just one bit. And there's 6, plus a field either side of you. Oh, fuck, aye. Remember when Keith crashed up there right in front of me? He had John Burns in the passenger seat. And his S15, I think he just put the roll cage in it. And I was in Maltesa, it still had the Beams engine in it. And I was struggling with that fucking thing when it had the Beams engine in it. And he was behind me and he was linking up like fuck. And we came round where the toilets were. And then I was slowing down for the right-hand corner, and Keith just came fucking fall past me. And all I could see was just John's face, like looking at me in pure fear. And then he just lost. He just went like sliding for 8. It seemed like forever. And then just bang right into the tyres. And then he just drove off. John Burns jumped out the car, I think, and helped put the tyres back. And Keith just drove off. And Jim, Jim, up at Crail, where the fuck's he going? And fucking needs to fix these fucking tyres. And I was like, mate, he's obviously in fucking a bit of shock and that. So we all helped to put the tyres back together. Because there must have been about 50 tyres that just went fucking everywhere. And then I was like, maybe I should call it a day. Can you get that kind of gut feeling? You should always get that gut feeling telling you, maybe I should just pack up and call it a day. And I was like, fuck it, let's keep going. And then not the next corner where everybody stands, but the following corner after that, the kind of fast left. A guy in a black E46 compact rolled into the field right in front of me. And I was just like, slammed the brakes on, pulled up. Me and Steve pulled over, and I ran into the field. And the guy's sitting there, and I pulled his door open, and it kinked the wing. And he's like, "Watch my door, you dick!" And I was like, "Fucking." He's like touching the dashboard. He's like, my fucking dashboard. The passenger, I think he got thrown out the car because he was already out the car by the time I'd even showed up. So maybe not literally, but fucking generally thought he'd been thrown. But the guy, again, probably just in shock, like, oh, fuck's sake. But, so after that, I was like, this is fucking dodgy, like, absolutely fucking mad. So I packed up stuff, and I think a few months later, I was there with Fraser Stark, and he was testing his M3, 120 mile an hour down that straight, sideways, 4th, 5th gear. Absolute fucking insane. Absolutely insane.
It's a good and bad thing about Crail. They just do not give a fuck, man. Like, we went there, we booked a private day, and he showed up, let us in, and then just said, oh, have you got roll cages in your MX-5s? And we're like, aye, mostly. And then he showed us a picture of a guy that rolled the day before. And I don't know how he fucking survived it. Remember the red?
Aye, that was without a roll cage, wasn't it?
Aye. And he was like, aye, he just sat in the
It
grass.
was the same day. We got there in the afternoon. It was in the morning. The boy had rolled it.
It was. Aye, that's right.
He's like, the boy's still sitting down there on the grass. We're like, all right, sound.
He's in a wee bit of shock.
Guys hit the big fucking tatty bin and fucking flipped like something at the Fast and Furious and landed on its roof. But he had the hardtop roof. It was one of the Minty Fresh guys. He just sold it to his pal, and he's like, "I'll show you how this is done." Buckle. I rolled his gate, and then I hit a tatty bin and fucking see it. Like, I jumped out like fucking Vin Diesel with a broken arm and that. Funny story with Crail. Do you mind my Skyline, my 4-door white Skyline?
Yeah.
The one that Ben Richards now has.
The one I tried to buy and you patched me? You're like, who's this cunt? He's got a Corsa? Fuck off.
Probably.
Well done, Sean.
Did I ask you? The first thing I probably said to you was, "Can you get insured on this fucking thing?" Because I couldn't.
It literally was, It literally.
Yeah, because you were like the 5th person to message me that had a Corsa. So, and they all just went, "Mate, how much? I'll come out and see it." And then they went, "I can't get insured, mate." And I was like, "Okay." So I think by the 5th time, which was you, and I seen you were I was like, "Where the fuck is Dumbartonshire?" I was like, no,
it's not Glasgow, mate. It's not Glasgow.
It's not Glasgow. Turns out it's not Glasgow. And when I seen that you were in Dumbartonshire, which I thought was in England, and then I seen that you had Corsa, and I was just like, "Mate,
nah, not this guy."
No, it wasn't that. I just said to you, "Can't get insured with it," and then you probably looked and went, "Whoa, fuck."
I don't fucking know.
I didn't even check.
Oh fuck.
I've got a habit of just buying cars then going, shit, I should probably insure this.
Aye. Mm-hmm. That Skyline, I messaged, it was Stuart Lawson, the guy with the yellow RX-7, the FC, mad bastard.
Oh yeah, it's fucking.
And I went up to go see it, and I think it was up for sale for like $1,000, and I was like, fuck it, this will be quite cool. And it was pretty ugly, but I thought it actually looked quite smart in a kind of weird, kind of fucking way, a 4-door Skyline. And it went up, and he was just like, "Oh, Ken, I'll take you to blasting it." And I didn't think he even had a band of that. I think he just like fucking did the whole thing with a stamp, Ken licked it and did that. And he was like, "Right, Ken, away." He went. He borrowed some wheels off of that Ross guy that thought he was a drifter. He bought one of John Fallon's cars, and he thought he could drift, but he couldn't.
Ross Callahan?
That's him. He's a
nice guy, by the way, I'm just saying.
Aye, very nice guy. Nice guy. But he could only do burnouts in the fucking thing. Well, he came up to Driftland, Crail Big Track, and was just doing burnouts. And so he gave his wheels to Stuart Lawson, who put them on the Skyline. And he was doing about 90 down the straight in this fucking thing with no coilovers. It was just like shocks and springs. It was the scariest fucking thing I've ever been in my life. And he was like just, the handbrake fucking away up here and throwing it in, and he was just wild. And he was just like, half the first lap, he's like, "Are you gonna buy it?" And I was like, I think so. And then he just linked up the whole back straight, and then you know that little tight corner bit, he just like linked it straight through that, and I wanna linked it all the way down to the toilet, and he just went, "How about now?" And I was like, "Aye, I think I'll do this." Like, aye. And he was just fucking mental. He's a fucking mental driver. Good to see him back out again.
No, that would be, I think his car's ready to go, is it not?
Needs mapping, I think.
Mm.
He bought some fuel rails, I believe, which I'll leave nameless who he got them from, but he got some fuel rails and they leaked.
Not in the right way, though.
Yeah. Aye. Aye. But I'll leave that nameless, but he bought some pretty, I think they were pretty decent fuel, well, they were meant to be pretty decent fuel rails.
Fuck it, Shan, say the name, man. Let's get these views popping, bro.
Oh! No! Grass! Thanks, grass.
I don't know if I froze. Have I froze? Am I?
No, you just look like this, mate.
It's because I'm.
You can't see the screen.
I can't see you, so I don't know what I look like. So I'm trying to stop this thing from shutting down.
Oh, nice.
Shan, did you ever go up to John Fallon's parents' house? I don't even know where the fuck it is, to be honest with you. Not like the Edinburgh one, but like maybe Livingston.
Bangilla.
Possibly, it was up like a wee single track road.
Yeah, I went there.
I went up there to buy my silver S14. He started it. It was literally stone cold, and he limited it out of the driveway, like down that wee road. Got to the junction at the bottom. Did not look to see if anything was coming at all. Popped the clutch, handbrake, spun it back round, and done like maybe 300 yards of pure SR20 DE limiter. And then I was like, "Aye, man, I'll buy it." I do.
Sold. Did that have the D2 calipers on it, or was that the RX-7 shell that Dan was selling?
No. That car had everything on it, man. I bought that for 1,400 quid, I think. Nav front bumper, over fenders, D2 8-pot, CS1s, a bunch of white line shit.
Damn.
That's so cheap, man.
And then
You scrapped it.
yeah, there was an incident that, as it turns out, would be very easy to fix these days if I happen to know a Chris Coyles. But at that time, I did not, and I just broke it for bits.
Yeah. That was an interesting day. SDC only. SDCS, was it? SXOC.
The old school days.
Yeah. Me and Scotty paid our way on. Aye, because Jim was like, "I'm the boss here," and we just paid to go on. Aye, in our E36s, and folk were fucking raging.
One thing I will say is, man, E36s, despite what you want to say about them, are strong.
So easy.
Strong vehicles.
Oh, mate, they'll remove the back end of an S14 completely and be completely road legal to drive home. It's wild.
That's why I did that day. See that day I nearly hit you?
Aye.
That was
Anybody who says that E36s are shit has never driven one, drifted one, or crashed one. Because if you've done all that, you'll truly know how fucking good they are.
I think the problem is like the I don't even know, like
The reputation.
yes.
The problem is
It's like the stigma that goes with them.
You know what I mean?
Stigma.
Make them cool. You can make them cool. Like Gary's one was smart as fuck.
That wasn't really even mine, no, man. That was fucking Glenn's, to be fair. But Steve-O's, though, is like top 5.
Own it, Gary. Just own it, man.
That's it. Steve-O's one's cool as fuck. That's actually my favourite E36 saloon. Probably actually one of my favourite E36s actually in Scotland.
You can get shite anything. Let's be real. You can get plenty of shite S bodies.
Most of the S bodies out there are complete trash. Let's be honest.
Aye.
Good majority of them are.
There's some stinkers. Just go and look at mine now.
Steve's wiring. I remember seeing Keeve's fucking car, the wiring in the dash. Like, I think he took like his clocks out, or half his dash out, and I was just like, "Holy fuck, man!"
If it works, it works. But
You start beef with Keeve right now.
I fucking love Keeve's car. It's just so like he fucking brings like everything, like wood and jacks and all these tools. And I'll tell you what, without fail, it'll break down, but without fail, it'll drive it to fucking aim. It's brilliant. I love it.
Straight up the A9.
Aye, straight up to his mum and dad's. Fucking
I
love that.
cannot imagine a worse drive to do than the A9 after a drift day.
The worst.
It's so shit like that.
It's a bad road, man.
Very bad. 104 miles the average speed cameras and shit. Man, probably more. It's probably 120 miles. Aye.
Aye, that was a brutal drive when we were going up to Galsby, man. Like, roadwork.
Getting a transit.
Was that?
Rear ending you on the way there.
Aye, I was going to say, Cammy, you didn't nearly die, mate.
Nah, I know, but it was just like, there was one bit, I know, like, you nearly died, right? We'll get on to that in a minute, but there was
Aye, we'll
one
keep
bit
that
we were
over
driving
that.
along, right? We were driving along, and there was, like, this massive hump in the middle of the ground, so I was like, oh, fuck.
Wow.
Said to my missus, like, I better get out of the way. So I kind of, like, was, like, angled on it, and I looked in front of me, and Decky was there just, like, gliding his exhaust right along it, and it was just, like, a big sparkler under his car. It's like, what is this road? It was just for
To be fair, my car looks like that all the time when you're behind it. I think it's just fuck.
On the straightest road, it's just sparks everywhere.
I know.
If anybody's
not-
wondering why
it's
I'm
not too
getting
bad
lit
now.
up in the face right now, the lights
Eh?
at my comfort are turning on.
oh, nice.
Aye.
Oh,
The disco
You know,
light.
Yeah.
this shit round.
Gaz is at an illegal rave.
Gary, that's what it looks like when you're behind my car and all the sparks are bouncing up out of you.
aye.
Mate, it'll do this for a solid 20 minutes.
Welcome to Paisley.
Is that just like a warning sign for, like, you are now entering the night time in Paisley?
You're upside down.
Why am I?
Sorry, Gary.
Hello? Hello?
Oh,
Why is it not fixing?
Just so you know, this meeting's got 2 minutes left, but if you want, we'll just start it again. Like,
aye.
because I'm
If you
not,
want, eh?
I'm not paying 10.
Hopefully I'm not upside down the entire time.
Paying what?
Aye, it wants me to upgrade to a 10 a month to keep this going.
Get the
Fuck that.
fuck.
Spider-Man Gary.
Yeah. Nah, we'll just start another one, part 2.
Aye. The
Shall I
boys
go in the
part
back?
two.
Fuck too?
The MX-5 saga. We'll talk about MX-5s.
Aye, let's talk about them. Good laugh.
I think the majority of us experienced MX-5s.
I love my
tried to.
MX-5.
I've never experienced, like, actually drifting one, but I've been in one drifting.
I've never understood it till I drove one and shouted Japan and just
That was hilarious.
wrecked
Best time of my life.
It's just constant limiter. That's what an MX-5 is.
Japan!
Japan! And just throw it at the Crail tyres, and it wasn't even my motor, it was my bud's motor.
And have no idea what's going on. Just like, alright, cool.
It was amazing.
If we die, we die.
Hugo Black's Unos is fucking mental, that turbo one. There's a wee bump just at on Driftland when you're going clockwise. There's a wee bump just at the off ramp. I never knew it was there. I've never been that wide. And he was hitting us every time and actually like jumping towards the grass bund and then just landing, keeping it pinned, and the whole thing was just filling up with smoke. And Kenny the Miller, the flag guy, he was like, thought it was fucking hilarious. He'd never seen anything like it before in his life. It's fucking mental.
That's one thing to say about Kenny, man. He will overlook your complete danger manoeuvres in respect of the send.
Aye, so you're saying to you,
Doesn't give a fuck, man.
Runs away,
I
mate.
was trying
Runs away.
to do backies and I kept fucking up and he's like, just keep trying it because it looks as cool as fuck.
right, this is gonna end any minute, right? So I'll invite you.
Right. Start again.
Right.
Start, babe.
We are officially back.
We are back. Oh, hold on. Let's.
Oh,
Whoa. Hey, whoa. The
Upside down.
fuck? There we go. Is that better? It's up.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
Cars and that.
aye, where
Aye.
were we?
Motors.
MX-5s.
Because that's what we talk about in that.
The drift racing. You lads.
You did a skid racing, son.
Ah, you did it. Skid race.
What's this racing that you're talking about?
I heard you do this skid
Drifting
sliding.
in back of Matty, you know. But we used to call that driving to work. Is what the old folk say. And the old Capris and that open diffs and stuff. Aye.
They can only drift going one way.
Aye.
Aye.
That's like my dad with his fucking Escort. He used to have Escorts. I could broadside it for ages. Shut up.
Aye, do
Can
the
you swap?
flip side.
If my
Aye,
dad
aye,
sees this, I'm sorry.
He's a wee rundown, like where you started and stuff, man.
Oh, talking to me, mate?
Aye.
Oh,
Like, where
right.
did it all start? Obviously, I've known you for what, 12 years or something now, Scary?
Since the JDMO days, so aye, about 12 years.
You had that, what, EG-SIR2, and then sold it for Supra.
No, I had them both at the same time. I was
Money, oh!
25-year-old with a Supra and a Civic SIR. I was fucking bored.
Not a bar
But I loved the Supra. Just like the Civic was cool, but the thing is, folk looked at you in fucking pure disgust. But with the Supra, put it this way, even my neighbour who hated me, he couldn't stand me because I always had like noisy cars. Even he liked the Supra. Even he was like, "That's a fucking bra car, son, bro." That.
Supra?
What Supra was that? Mark 3 or Mark 4?
Was it that started the drifting kind of thing, or?
No, sorry, it was before that. My first real drive car was a £200 E36 1318 saloon that mate Jamie was meant to buy off of this guy. He was kind of like seeing the guy's daughter, and then they broke up. So that he was like, "I'm not fucking selling that fucking car anymore." And I was like, "Well, I needed a car because I blew the head gasket on my Jetta because I was a fucking idiot." Driving it with no coolant in it. So I was like 20-year-old, so I didn't care. So I bought this BMW for £200 when I was 20-year-old. I thought I was fucking what's that film again? Fucking what's the one where they drive out in the fucking Saab with the gold wheels and that? What's it called again?
What?
You Jack, fuck it.
We're all too young for this.
I thought it was fucking
Fast and Furious, mate.
That's it. Felt like a total baller. 20-year-old with a BMW. I was just like, fuck, total. The thing was a fucking pile of shit. The trailer arm bushes hanging out it, lollipop bushes, fuck. But I loved it. It still drove minted. And I still didn't, at the time, I didn't know what drifting was. So that would have been 2005. I generally was, like, I'd seen drifting on it wouldn't have been YouTube at the time. No, it would have been like, it would have been like
Yahoo.
yeah. So I would have seen like Japanese stuff from that, but I was just like the old fucking videos you had to download off of LimeWire, and Supra drifting or the 86 in-car footage up against the wall. Was it
On the back? Oh no, the thing. Aye.
It was like that off the wall, and then just gives it the big flick, and just watching that and being like, I could never do that. And I was like, nah, there's no way I could do that. And I got this BMW and proved my point. I couldn't do it because I didn't know what a welded diff was. So I'm out in this 318, drifting about in the wet, and I thought I was fucking cool as fuck because I could drift like pull out one corner and without killing myself. And then my uncle bought me a ticket for not kill when I was 21. And they had the skid pan with the Sierras, the GLXs, and that just fucking blew my mind because the lassie was, what was her name, Max. She was fucking showing you around the track in the figure 8, and she was going on about the diff, and she's like, yeah, the diff's been welded, and I was just like, all right. And then I went out and just locked it up, and I was like, I'm fucking welding my fucking diff. But I'm getting a rear-wheel drive car, I'm buying a Sierra, I'm going to fucking weld the diff first thing I want to do to it. And then I ended up not doing that because I was fucking skint. What did I have? I can't remember what car I had, but then I ended up having a shot of Andy Halkett, half a job. He had an MX Arduinos. I always thought they were a bit. No, it was a dark green one on bore bits.
Okay.
And it had like an interior. And I thought, oh, they're a bit girly and I'll probably never fit in one and blah, blah, blah. And Andy just went, do you want a shot? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And he was like, go and have a fucking shot. He's like, drive it back to my house and see what you think. And I drove it maybe 1.5 miles back to his house, jumped out, and I was like, I'm buying one. And I bought one off of, Andy Strange. Remember him?
Aye.
I bought his one for £900, a wee silver Unos. And it had a V LSD, which, as you know, is almost as scary as an open diff because the more they the faster you go, it's like the more they lock.
Aye.
And
Maybe scarier than an open drift, because at least you know an open drift is shit.
Aye, exactly. As for this, you have to be so committed. And me, Scotty Cummins, Andy Halkett, Sean Duffy, we were out almost every night, and the fires would last months, not minutes, and it was brilliant. You're just out skidding about every second night, and you just didn't care, and you were just young and daft, I guess, eh? And I was maybe like 23 when I first got into it, and that was me. I was just like, right, I'm fucking into this. Did one day at Crail, loved it, and I never looked back, man.
When did it start getting like serious, if you know what I mean? Black S14 type of time?
Yeah, I would say so. Black S14, I was working mad fucking hours and doing crazy. I was on call every second week. So if you imagine, on call 6 months of the year. So the overtime money was fucking crazy, but I was working myself into a grave. But the money was good, and I had the Skyline just before that, but the insurance on that was a joke, and trying to get a turbo for it and stuff like that, I was like, fuck all this. So I ended up buying the S14 for, at the time, £1,800, which I know.
Fucking hell, man.
When the guy said, I want £1,800 for it, I was like, fucking hell, this thing fucking plated with gold, you cunt. 1,800 quid. I was like, right, I'll go and have a look at it. So I went out and had a look at it, and it had like a couple of wee cheeky mods, like the braided turbo lines, the R33 rear axle, rear drum brakes, like twin pot calipers, inbound shoes. It had all. So I was like, oh, okay, fucking blah, blah, blah. And what else did it have? Had something else, like a strut brace. Had something like a strut brace on it. And that was the one that I put the most money into. Like, that was the car that really, I started pumping loads of money into the chassis, and at the same time started getting into D1 Street Legal and wanted to kind of base my car around that. And John Fallon sold me the roll cage for it, and that was exactly 6 years ago, just last week.
Right.
No, it came up on Instagram. Holy fuck.
I know, I've seen you been sharing like bits and pieces that the guy that's got it now is selling.
I've seen that as well.
Aye, Ryan. Yeah, it was quite a funny one. What happened was I loved the S14, but at the same time, they're great cars. But as a lot of you will know from drifting them, they drift themselves. Like, there's very little.
So easy.
Aye, they're so easy, which again was great.
Aye, they're brilliant to keep control of. I don't spin out all the time. Talking about.
I loved it. I generally thought it was a fantastic chassis, and just it drifted itself. But the thing is, though, it had, like, I thought, enough power that you didn't have to concentrate on coming in too fast. You could just set the car up, and you could just it was just brilliant. And then,
don't get me wrong, Jan, not to interrupt you, mate. You should always concentrate on coming in too fast.
Aye, definitely.
Story of my fucking life. Especially after this quarantine, mate. Aye, so S14, it was the turbo started smoking when I was doing drift taxis at Ingolstadt, and then I did another day up at Driftland. Do you remember Big Max from Germany? He was over.
Aye.
Yeah, he was over, and I had my S14, and he was just like, I can't do a German accent, so I'll do a Welsh one instead, right? So he's like, fucking hell, fucking. Fucking. I was just, what's the fucking problem, Mike? He goes, you're too fucking big for that fucking car. And I was like, all right. So
the Max is like 6'8" or some shit.
Aye. And he's
like German sausage.
Have you got any more exploding carrots? He's like, you're too big. He says, you're too fucking big for that fucking car. I cannot be fucking like this fucking car. You can flying around in the fucking thing. And I was just like, right, Max. And he goes, you need a big fucking car. And I was like, right, like what? And he goes, like a fucking Loro or a JZX or something. I was like, well, actually, I've always fancied the JZX 90 Mark II Tourer V. And he was like, I fucking know somebody that'll fucking get you one of them. I was like, right, go for it. And we were sitting in Burger King, and I totally forgot all about it. And I was like, right, neighbour, I was still fucking driving about my S14 with a flat turbo. It was just like puffing out grey smoke on idle because the bearings were fucked. And AMK Garage, he was a man. He fixed it. He used to fix my engine, but he said get a new turbo for it. So I was this close to buying a fucking turbo for it when Max phones me out the blue, and it's like 2:00 in the afternoon.
To a Welsh phone number.
And that he's like, hello, how you fucking doing there? I'm like, I'm good, Max. How you doing? He's like, I have found you a fucking car, I have. And I was like, right, okay, go for it. And I was like, I've not really got the money and stuff, eh? Can I buy a turbo? He goes, well, fucking check your fucking eyes on this. And he showed me the pictures of this GZX90. And you know that feeling when you see something, you just go, I'm fucking having that. Like, that's mine. And I don't know what it was, because it was just a bog standard GZX90. There was nothing really special about it, apart from a bride seat, a narby, and it had blue suspension. They couldn't tell me if it was coilovers or anything. All they said was the suspension was blue. I was like, mented. And it had a drift button. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, that's been used for drifting in Japan. Quality. So I said, right, fuck it, put the car, the S14 is going to go up for sale. So blah, blah, blah. Sold the S14 to Ryan, who bought it, and then put the money towards the GZX90. I sold the S14 for $5,000, which was fucking pretty cheap for everything that had been done to it. It was pretty cheap. But that was the going rate at the time. And went to I put a deposit down on the car, the GZX in Japan. I've never imported a car before. I had loads of imports before this, but I'd never actually imported the car myself. So I paid the deposit by PayPal. That was fine. And I was like, yeah, fucker. So went on Yahoo Auction, OpinionDrift Japan, bought loads of stuff for it before the car had even went on the fucking boat, by the way. And I'm buying all this stuff for it. And then Max is talking me through what to do. And he goes, right, so he's like, right, okay, so you need to fucking get yourself the fucking money and you need to transfer American dollars to a Brazilian man who lives in Japan for a car you've never fucking seen. And I'm like, that's okay. So I go to the bank up in Dundee. I walk in and hand over $5,000. It was $5,000 I handed in exchange on that shit. And the guy was like, as soon as I hit go, like press this key, like that's it. You know, that money's gone. You can't get it back. That's it. And I was just like, oh, fucking hell. So I was like, oh, right, go for it. Just send it. I've already been fucking in for a penny, in for a pound, sent it. And then the car arrived just before Christmas 2015. And it was the best car I've ever owned. And it's been a slow progress building it up because, like, the S-bodies, like you guys know, you can go on eBay with an S-body, just go to the toilet and sit on your phone and then walk away and be like, fuck, I've just spent 300 quid on a fucking, you know, an exhaust or something. You can that, you can yourself. Aye, and you're like, but as for the GZXs, because they're a lot rarer, trying to get parts for them, it's harder to get. So that's why it's been a kind of slow progress, I must say. But no, it's getting there. I've got big plans for it. This year, sadly, just been going on, it's a bit on the hold. But I'll be getting Chris to paint it after the amazing job he did to my Altezza. I'll be getting Chris to paint it again. So
I'll not be taking a weekend, but it'll be longer than a weekend.
That's fine. That's fine, mate. Aye, that 31 hours it took him to paint my. I can't fucking believe it.
See, like 2 days before you got the car back, you're like, mate, I just don't see how he's got to paint it in a day. And I was like, mate, have faith it'll be painted. You're like, nah, man, I don't see it. And then, like,
see, to be honest,
Sunday night at the Kia from shit, when we forced you into the burnout, it looked pretty fantastic.
See, looking back, I don't understand how that car, how I done it, because it was fucking a lot of work. But
it was. Because you had the catty the rear. The driver's rear quarter had to get catted after
SDC.
SDC, yeah, me and Gary Meekie, we had a wee bump, and then on the passenger side, after I crashed into Chrissy Nealon.
Aye, that was the bit just round the arch.
Round the arch. So you had to catty all that and stuff, and you did a fucking brilliant job. And then the paint job was brilliant, but the thing that I still can't believe was the headlights. Like, you buffed the headlights. I'm always scared to buff headlights because I always think I'm going to go too hard and melt the fucking things.
Aye.
But you did perfect, and they're still still fucking amazing, man. So that was another thing. I was just like, and they polished the wheels and stuff. It was just a fucking great service. So, aye, I'll be going back to yourself for the GZX as well. So
C94 refinishing on the IG boys. Get the fucking plugs in.
Personal jobs only, but.
All right. So I don't know what colour exactly they go. I was thinking of kind of that Volvo pearl white colour you were talking about. You showed me. It looked fucking brilliant.
Shan, silver.
Silver would be good. No.
Silver would be sick.
No.
Silver would be nice, actually.
No.
I've seen a couple in silver. They look good, but
I'm enjoying custom paint. See, like anything off of there. It's so cheap and just so good. Like,
cool.
I don't know if you've seen that S15 I done, the purple one. But that was
brilliant. I seen it in the flesh that day. I was picking up the bumper. It looked
aye. So you did,
amazing. It looked brilliant, mate. Aye.
Anything off
Really
of
good.
custom paints generally is quite good.
Mm-hmm. No, I was really impressed by that, man. It looked fucking brilliant. How long did that take you to do?
I can't even
Too long.
Aye. It was like 3 months. But that was
fucking hell.
that was a whole thing, but like see the kit, it came from Origin like in 100 bits. And
Right.
it was because it was from Origin Japan, it was like back and forward, and they didn't want to send other kit in case it get broken, and it was a whole thing.
Is it actually broken in half like Gary Boyd does when he drops off bumpers to you as well?
Oh, mate, look.
The worst thing about the side skirts was it was, see, because it was racing line, it's got the vents in the side skirts.
Yeah.
It had like a good 2 inches missing. It was just powder. But
I'm only joking, Gary. I mean that. You risk your life on the M5 to fucking pick up a bit of fucking fiberglass.
Oh, no. Let's be very honest about it and transparent. I didn't risk anything. I had a co-driver with me at the time who I told to leave the vehicle and get your bumper.
Okay. Can we get a name for this unsung hero?
My man, Big Dylan. Nicest man in the land, but every time he got in the motor, mate, he had at least 12 quid worth of munchies and chocolate and shit. It was quite the experience.
Aye.
I can back that up. Dylan was very snacky.
Snackiest of the chans, mate.
Snacky, man.
So,
nice.
Do we have any other topics we would like to discuss here?
Right, Shan, you got anything you want to get off your chest?
Going to a vote. MX5 or IS200 for your first drift car?
MX5, if you can fit in one.
MX5.
It depends.
I had an MX5, so I'll stick with MX5.
It depends, because I couldn't have used an MX5 as my first drift car because I played ice hockey at the time. I could not have fitted anything in it. So
you could stick in it. Aye.
You've got to drive them both very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they've both got their pluses, and they're both cheap enough to get shit for. So it's...
IS200s are a fortune to insure, but
they are.
Yes.
They are so expensive to insure. Like, I was an extra £50 a month to insure my IS200 with like 2 mods declared on it than I was to declare all my mods on my S14. Like, my S14 was like 650 quid for a year, and the IS was fuck knows how much for the year. It was ridiculous.
That is,
I think I was like 250 quid for my MX5 with all the mods. Every single thing was declared.
I mean, MX5s are good. Like, I don't know if you've met Tank, right? But Tank's, what, 15?
Yeah.
He's got the MX5 and he's learning out in that, and he loves it, and it's just a cool car to learn in. But IS is kind of the same, but a bigger... I don't know.
I think, see if you don't need the space, I would say MX5. But if you need the space, IS, and you could afford to insure it
they're
and run it because
similar, like,
to run.
Price-wise and rust-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen... my IS is pretty rusty, so...
I mean, Mine's is. It's been done. It's fine. It's for sale. It's not for sale. I don't know.
So, hi,
No,
does anybody want to buy mine? Just get rid of it.
The lock on a MX-5, I'd say it's got slightly more lock as well on an MX-5 compared to
standard. I mean,
yeah.
I drifted that wee Silver one. I had the wee Mark 1 stock lock, HSDs welded diff, and it was so much fun.
Can you like properly use the lock in an MX-5 though, if you've got it? Because you don't have power.
100%.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's for how long, but like you can't hold it, but you can definitely initiate.
Nah.
You can initiate.
Mine's like just go into full lock and then you snap it.
I mean, it's just our driving style, really, at the end of the day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
MX-5s are more snappier, and I think you don't have that weight transfer ISEs have. Like ISEs, you can kind of flick, and then it will just kind of coast itself in. But ISEs are definitely snappier and less forgiving.
Yeah,
I love just how you could drive a MX with just pure aggression. You have to just try and kill it to get it to go. It's quality.
That shows in your S14 driving, sir, to be fair.
Eh?
That shows in the way you drive the S14 also.
Same.
I think I started in my S13, but my driving definitely changed when I had a shot in MX-5.
Yeah, the MX-5, well, so the Unos that I had like years ago, that was like so much fun. But the car that I learnt the most in was definitely the compact, the 318 Ti. And it was just funny because you had folk, like I bought that off a mate who did the Compact Cup, and he bought it as a kind of spare backup car. And ended up selling both his blue cars because he wanted Dakar yellow ones instead. I was like, okay, fair enough. So he had that wee car sitting at his lockup away out by Haddington Way, and it sitting there with a slipping clutch, and he wanted 330 quid for it. So me and my mate Chris McCurry went, picked it up, and it would still drive, like it would move and stuff, but if you kicked its ass, the clutch would start slipping. And I just bought Jones, put some wheels on it, and welded the diff with the poly diff mount, and that was it, and took it out on track with a slipping clutch, and just fucking loved it. And I had Scotty in the passenger seat shouting, turn on the gas, which meant hook second gear at the old Caravan, if you remember at Driftland, the Caravan that used to sit there. And he was fucking killing himself laughing, pissing himself because just like how fast you had to kind of throw it in. And but before I welded the diff, there was so many folk like drifters that said like, oh, you'll not be able to make it work. The engines are shite. You'll not be able to, they overheat, they fuck up. It's too slow. You'll not be able to do it. So that was good fun, just being able to go out in the 1.9 and just kill it. And I learnt more from that car in 6 months than I did in 2 years of the S-body.
Mate, I learnt more in my compact in 1 day than I did in 8 years. And you can you like see the difference between my driving and my Alteza or anything before that compact is indescribable.
It's just it's just the peace of mind knowing that you're not fucking with like 10 grand a car.
Like, exactly.
That doesn't really come in yet, mate. It's just like the ability to drive the way you want because the motor's correctly set up for it, man. It's like
see, the thing
so fun.
See, like even if I drove an MX-5 shit, I'd learn enough to drive the S13 a bit better. Like,
It's also incredible skill, really.
Compact and just like that, because I remember coming up to that private day you were in the Alteza and seeing you struggling, and then seeing you at the next private day. I think it was the one where Strang and Big Lindsay Gray were there, and you were in the compact, I'm pretty sure, and you were fucking killing it. And I was like, wow, he's fucking really came on leaps and bounds in that car. And I don't know if it is just because at the back of your mind you now know it's not an expensive Japanese car.
It was mostly just a lock, mate. Like that car saved a million different versions of shite driving, basically.
So I think as well, the good thing about these kind of cheaper cars is there's no like expectation. Like, see at Crail, I used to find like, see when you seen the S-bodies going out, you'd be like, oof, this guy must be fucking sick. And then it would just be us fucking idiots and spinning and not knowing what the fuck is going on.
I spun out so many times, and you'd just be facing folk with like their phones videoing you, and you're like, sorry. Sorry to disappoint.
Whereas, see if you're in like a clapped out MX-5, like there's nobody gives a fuck, so you can just go out and drive whatever the fuck you want.
Like, mind the time at Crail, the cunt was out in the completely standard MX-5 with like no roll cage, just one of them mad style bars.
The mad
the roof
silver
down, and he was throwing it side to side, and the thing was just like fucking like this the whole way, man. We thought he was going to die.
It wasn't even drifting at all, he was just driving.
Yeah. But he was the happiest guy at the end of that day.
Aye, he had like the best time.
Aye, that's it.
That's why my car will never.
First time at Crail, I put my car through the fence, mine.
Aye.
MX-5.
That was
About 10 minutes before the day was finishing, man, right through the tyres, right through the fence. Jim's like, you're a fucking arsehole.
It's part of the reason why I'll never take my car over 300 brake, because I think it's like a line. As soon as you cross that line, it's too much.
No, I totally agree. If you go for big power, a good friend of mine, he's building a 2J S14 now, and he's like, 600-700 brake, and it's like, you don't need that much, really. You should just get yourself something like start off something kind of 300.
300
power. I mean, he's a really good driver. He's a really good driver, so I know for a fact that he doesn't need to start in the 190 brake BM. He would kind of be more like the 300 brake S body kind of thing. But he's just went fuck that and just went straight for 600. And I don't think he's going to have as much fun, because to him there'll be so much pressure behind him to think, right, I really need to fucking
make this work.
Show this car. Which I'm sure he'll not mind. Stuart Cowie, for example. Perfect example of that. He had that RX-8, which is 212 brake, but it's got like zero torque, and he drove that RX-8. Fucking amazing. And then he jumps into his bad boy S14.5, sequential box and fucking everything, and he doesn't drive it anywhere near as hard. Now, I don't know if that's because he knows that it's the cost and the money and stuff, or if it's because he feels like, oh fuck, like he's a good driver as well. He did stockies for years and was really good at it. So it's like he can definitely drive, but it's like, does he jump in that car and think, fuck me?
But sometimes you lose, like, see when you do too much to a car, you lose the feeling of the car, so it's fucking, it's just an unknown, like, you don't know what the fuck he's going to do. But you hear so many guys putting like 2Js and 1Js and S bodies, and they just lose feeling, if you will.
Because they'll have like the Zero Ackerman hubs and all this shit, and it's like, I don't know if you've ever drifted with Zero Ackerman. I personally didn't like it, and it just felt as if like it was on like autopilot. Like you'd let go of the steering and it wouldn't feed back at all. It was like, whoa, what the fuck? I really didn't enjoy it, and that made me just go back to kind of more. Well, they were still chopped hubs, but they were the super Clarky ones, and they were great. They were night and day a difference compared to all the Zero Ackerman ones, and actually enjoyed the car more. I think like him, like he's going to go out with like the mad lock kit, mad power, and it's going to be like super light. And like you say, that to go from nothing to that is going to be fucking mental.
Nice.
But he is a good driver, so I think he'll be able to. I think he'll definitely be able to, drive it 100%. But I don't think it's fun. Which is what it's all about.
It's like it's more rewarding to drive like a shitter car good than an amazing built car good. Because it's if you can make a stock lock MX-5 do a full track and then do the same in a fully built 600 brake car, it's more impressive. So it's at the end of the day, it just depends what you're using the car for.
Yeah.
It's got a lot on track as well, man, because you're not using. If you take a 600 brake S body to Driftland, unless you've got like mild tyres and shit, some arsehole in a compact will push you.
Aye, Driftland's one of those tracks. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got look at fucking, is it Josh Duff with, is it a 318?
Wow.
And he's pushing 400-500 brake horsepower cars around that track. It's just
mate, I tried to keep up with him. What was it? STL Day 2 in the wet, so fast.
Aye, he's an insane driver. Like, it's
so wide.
Driftland's a driver's track. Like, that's what's sick about Driftland. But big, wide open, sweeping tracks, it's power. And that's when, obviously, 6 on a brake comes into it.
Yeah, Josh Duff, just brilliant. Brilliant driver. No matter if it's a practice day, STL or STC, it doesn't matter. He just goes out. Because there's some drivers, including myself, that you could go on like a practice day and do really well, but then as soon as you go in the competition, you just shit yourself and just, and it's like, oh fuck. And I sometimes have that as well. There's some really good drivers that go up to Driftland that do the SDC that you could put them on a practice day and you could say, right, hit that line, and they'll hit it 4 out of 5 times, no problem, perfect. And then as soon as you put somebody up on the balcony with a pen and paper and a pen notepad saying, right, hit that box, they can't do it and they shit themselves, and it's just peer pressure. And like for example, Bryony, brilliant wee driver. Like at New Year's Eve, she was fucking brilliant, linking up the whole track.
She was good at Goldsby as well.
She was brilliant at Goldsby. Her and Billy
Murray.
Billy Murray. I was going to say Mick Murray, but that's it. Billy Murray. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant up at Goldsby. And but then in competition, not Billy. Billy was.
I bet
funny.
Shall we say?
Yeah. It was. That was. I've never seen anything like that. That was quite. What was it, like Jerry Springer kind of style? It was quite funny. He was pushing. To be fair, he was going up against a Skyline with, at the time, probably 2.5 times his power.
Easy. And
he was doing all right. Up against the Craig Butterworth. That's right. Who did really well. He ended up coming third.
Is that the guy that heated the tyres?
Yeah, he was in the Skyline, the ex-IDC. That's him. Good driver as well. But no, like Billy and Bryony, amazing and stuff like that. But when it comes to competition, I don't know. It's like as if they just kind of like, oh fuck. So it's just build confidence and stuff like that, I guess. But
weird. Like that was the first kind of competition I'd ever done, and it was weird. Like, I went up against Scott Smith, and he could have easily not given a fuck and just ran my door, and I would have shot myself completely because he was in a cheap bash car, and I was in obviously the S-body that I drove there with, but he didn't, and that was the only reason. Like, it was just mental. Like, competition is totally different. Like,
Scott Smith's a good driver, I must say. There was one year he had an S13 that was purple with an S15 front end on it. Didn't get his license, and he was like, "That's I'm selling up," and everybody was like, "No, Ken, keep it, keep the car, come back," and then he did, and recently he's been in the white and red bash car. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
He's an excellent driver, man.
Excellent driver, because remember at Micro Cup as well, and the Starlets, they were fucking brilliant. In the back.
Yeah, Micro Cup, man, that was fucking
Micro Cup was amazing. So good.
Brilliant.
Do you know what it was gutting, but like we spent so much time in that jazz. Like,
I love that jazz. Yeah.
RIP. It's sitting at the back. Fucked.
It's now in the scrapper in the back of it. It's so sad anytime we see it now.
It was so much fun putting on its roof away the flop truck.
Oh, I love that car.
Raise your hand.
So we've only got 2 minutes left. Will we call it that?
My phone's gonna die. Aye.
Yeah. But we'll do this another time. If it gets
absolutely.
If it gets more than 100 views, we should do another one.
I feel as though we could keep on talking for fucking hours, to be honest.
We could. Aye.
Definitely could. That's what podcasts are like. But
aye. Do you want to save it for next week then?
Aye.
I'm up for that. Aye.
Aye. Hopefully this will go down quite well. Aye. Fucking brilliant.
Aye. Decent one.
I think. You know how we talked about stage, like those 5 things you would get your mates to drive, like the things that they would use. Yeah. Let's come up with next. Like they've done like 4 or 5 days at Trail or Driftland. So now what's the next 5 things after them? Aye. So think of that, lads, for next.
Aye, we'll do that. It's going to cut off in a minute. So.
Hey, boys.
We'll see.
Okay, guys. Right.
See you guys.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
All right.